Hello, welcome to tonight's Window Wonderland's workshop. So I'm Zoe from Yeovil Art Space, and here's Natasha.
Hi.
So today we're going to have Natasha to show us her design, and which is if you're lucky enough to get hold of the activity packs and take that with you, and then it's like Natasha will go through with you step by step. If you can't get hold of that, and then we got the template you can download on our website. Just watch these videos and then download your template and come back through. So these videos will be available on our website and also on our Facebook page as well. So now I hand it to Natasha, so you can start to talk about it. Thank you.
Thanks, Zoe. Okay, everyone. So this is the pack that Zoe's just mentioned that we hope that you've got hold of. My pack is all about our homes, which we're all spending an incredible amount of time in at the moment. And you can see my window display behind me. I'm going to show you several different ways that you'll be able to make your windows with a little row of houses. In the pack is the worksheets that Zoe's just mentioned to you about downloading. So that has got the instructions. So I'm doing the land. My colleague Stephanie, who did a wonderful video last night, hard act to follow, is working with the sky, and Hannah Botany is going to do tomorrow's video when she's going to be working with the sea. So houses are to represent community and the streets that we live in, and in particular Yeovil, because it's Yeovil Window Wonderland. So all the details you need are on there. And in the pack, you're going to find two worksheets that I've done for you. A home is more than a house, which has got a step-by-step photographic guide on what you need, and which most of it is in the pack for you, and how to work what I'm going to show you this evening. And on the back, you've got a way of making the street, row of streets, houses as well, which I'm going to show you this evening. And you also have in there some simple instructions on how to draw your house. Now, my background's in teaching art and design, and I've designed this pack. So whether you're working with a preschooler or whether you're working with somebody who's elderly and doesn't have quite the use of their fingers, with arthritis and stuff, this is a really lovely way of showing you how to keep this art project nice and simple. However, we've also included for you, if you really enjoy your arts and crafts, a slightly more complicated way of making a stained glass window effect. So there should be plenty on there for everybody, lots of ideas on how to create these, and I'm going to show you how to do that. What else have we got in this pack for you? Well, we've got an envelope because we're hoping that once you've made your house that you'll share one of them with me, because we are, as three artists, putting together our window at Yeovil Art Space. And I obviously need a lot of houses, and I love this idea of you guys sending your houses in and me as an artist putting them all together for you, so we kind of create a community even though we can't all be together at the moment. So we've put in, for that reason, a couple of bits of black paper for you, so you'll be able to maybe keep one for yourself at home, and then send one in to us in the envelope. But I'm going to show you a way as well that you can use cereal packets and old cardboard to create a row of houses. Now, what else you've got in this pack? A paper bag to one side. You have got in here a white pen and a black Sharpie pen. I'm going to show you what you need those for. And you've got a glue stick as well. And you will have a selection of tissue paper, square pieces of tissue paper, and some larger tissue sheets of tissue paper as well. You might use all of this. You might use half of it. We'll see, it depends on what you make. And you might go out and get yourself some more because you're enjoying it so much. I hope so. I'm going to turn my camera down so you can see my hands and what I'm working with. So the first way I'm going to show you to make this house is one for the younger people, really, the little e's. And that would be to have a larger sheet of paper. You need to provide the scissors. We provided everything else, but you're going to need a a pair of scissors. And what I've done in true Blue Peter style is I've taken one of the black sheets of paper that you would have had in your pack, and I've cut it into strips like so. And I've got a sort of slightly, I've gone for a variety of sizes. So you've got some larger pieces here and some thin strips, and you can cut them with scissors or a craft knife if you have it. And you can see I've got a large piece here. I've drawn a couple of circles on, and I'll explain all in a moment. So now this way is just using the collage method. And a house is basically, if you're going to keep it in its basic format, it's a square and a triangle. So you can get little people to lay down your strips of paper without using the glue to start with, and they can just slowly start to create a house where you can guide them with it, and you can talk about shape and pattern with them. Quite useful for those of us that are homeschooling at the moment. I have a couple of boys at home with me. Having a mum as an art teacher, I think they're quite relieved when they get on and do some maths and English. So you can see here, I'm trying to make a square with the larger pieces, and I place them down. And then you can use the little bits you cut up, you can use those in your design if you want to. It's just placing it all down wherever you want. I'm going to use some of the thin strips, possibly for my roof. Yeah, like so. And lay them down. And you don't have to, if you don't want to, use scissors. We're going to glue it all down on the tissue paper afterwards. There we go. You might choose to make yourself some windows. So by folding a piece of paper like this, some squares. And a really simple way of making a frame, fold that square in half. Cut a section like this. Open it up. You've got. So you can make this one, especially if you're working with younger children, really, really simple. And then you glue it all down, which you're not gonna need me to show you how to do, but I shall put all this to one side and show you one that I've made like so. So, this is one I made in exactly that method. So this is putting the tissue paper and gluing it down. And now you can see what these are for. So if you were doing it with a younger child, you'd have slightly larger pieces, but you can add much more detail on it afterwards. I've drawn with the white and the black pen on top of the tissue paper and on top of the black paper as well. And it's worked really nicely. That's one method you can work where you actually glue on top of the tissue paper. That works really well. Second method that I'm going to show you is actually using the black paper again, but this time what we're going to do is just take the whole sheet of paper that you would have found in your pack. Clear the decks here a little bit. A little space to show you. And this piece of black paper here, you can actually get on and draw. Now, if you're not confident to draw on straight away with a pen, then a pencil will show up really nicely on the black sugar paper, okay? So you can just follow the instructions in the pack. As I said, I've given you some nice simple instructions on how to draw a house. Some of you will be really confident and really think about kind of what shapes you want to use. You want to draw a castle, or whether you want to do a cottage, wonderful variety of shapes, but that is all a house is. It's just a variety of shape. Now, by drawing directly onto the paper this time, what we're going to do is cut out like a stencil, like a frame. I'm just using the scissors here. Very simple. Like so. My little chimney in there. And you can see the shape of the house coming from the black paper. You can keep your black paper because if you've got scraps like this is obviously when you can cut it up and try the other method that I've just shown you. Now, you've got your shape like that. You can then start to have a little bit of fun with what kind of windows you want to do. Now, you can use a ruler. You can be really neat and tidy with it if you want to. Or you might want to be a little bit more jaunty, a bit like the house that Jack built. And you don't have to be so neat and tidy with it. It's going to be, I hope you can see that on camera just about with light. If you do have somebody who's struggling to see it, once you're comfortable with using the pencil, obviously you can then go over it with the white pen. And that will enable you to see it a little bit better. Now, this is the bit you probably, if you're working with children, you're going to need to be able to help them. House is going to be no problem at all. Sorry, the door is going to be no problem at all. It's nice and simple to cut out. It's when you get into the windows. So what I tend to do, I've got a cutting mat on this evening to do. I just tend to fold over where and then put a little snip like so. And that means I can then get my scissors in and I can cut window out. We're still working on the method where I would be working with younger children. And you can see it start to come on. And that's how this one was made, by actually cutting out the shape of the house. And then what we do is we turn it over. And you can see on the back of this one that I've actually used a large sheet of tissue paper to cover the whole thing. Or the small pieces that we've given you in the pack are already pre-cut for you. So what you can do is you can use the glue. You put the glue on the back of the house, and then you just take one sheet of the paper and lay it down over the top. Simple as that. And then you've got the tissue paper behind. You're always working on the back, like so. So that's two methods for you. If for those of you that are very competent with a craft knife, I'm going to show you this one I made. And my screen up and expect it to be a bit higher. There we go. Now that one, I've actually used a black frame around it. And I've used the craft knife. Now, we haven't included a craft knife in the pack because it's quite a specialist piece of equipment, and it's very, very sharp. So you can use that at your own risk, but you definitely need a rubber mat if you are going to attempt to use a craft knife. But obviously with that, you can cut out much more intricate shapes. You can leave the window, you put the window panes in, and put little details, like I put a little black cat in the window here. So you can be much more intricate with what you want to do if you're just going to put one house in the window. And it is quite nice to maybe add some of the extra features like your trees and your front garden as well. It's lovely. I've also had a really good time and enjoying using the black pen to actually draw onto the tissue paper and the white pen to add that detail, because the thing about Window Wonderland is you want the window to look fantastic in the daytime as well as at evening when it's all lit up, which of course the transparency of the tissue paper allows the light to come through. So that one I took quite a time doing and really enjoyed it, and I hope some of you who've got the equipment are able to do that. But if you haven't, and you do really enjoy using the black paper that we give you, you could decide that you would want to do a little bit more. And this one I've got here, you can see that I took a long strip of black paper. You probably could cut up the black paper that we give you if you want to, and attach them together just with sellotape, which would do as well. But you can cut out a row of houses, which I'll show you on my window later, will give you a variety of shapes. And in the pack we've given you, again, we've given you some suggestions and some images of houses where you can get some ideas for what you might want them to look like. Now, a really lovely way of making that row of houses, when you've used all the black paper that we've given you, is to use, like Stephanie did last night, the back of a cereal packet. And the reason I liked using the cereal packet is because the black permanent marker we've given you works. If you don't have any black paint, the black permanent marker will work really nicely on even the side of the cardboard that has the glossy finish to it. Or you can take your time. You have to be patient with that and colour it in onto the cardboard side. Or you can use black paint. Now, you might occasionally find something in the recycling. This is a real find for me. This was an egg box. Big fan of eggs in this house. She don't like going out to the supermarket much at the moment. So I've used the egg box and I've painted my shape on it and actually used the pre-cut holes that were already there, which was fantastic, a little bit of a cheats way. So I've got a large house there. And then, of course, we continue to use the same method. Glue, there's my glue. Stick it on there. And then you still to using the tissue paper. Now, I want to show you something. If the tissue paper doesn't quite fit over, it does on this one, but if it doesn't quite fit over on the hole, or you fancy a mosaic effect, don't be, don't be afraid to have a little bit of play and rip the tissue paper, and maybe even use a couple of different colours if you want to. You know, the whole point of each of the houses is we want them to be really, really individual. They should represent who you are, really, and your home. So you can rip the tissue paper and use 2 or 3 different colours, and you can play around with it that way. And then you can draw on the tissue paper. So that's a nice method. If you're using the cereal packet as well, what the nice thing about this is if you don't want to stick it in when you haven't, or you've got a really deep windowsill, you can actually bend the cardboard and it will be freestanding as well, which is great. It's flatter. So you can use the already formed bends to actually have it in your window itself and actually sitting on your windowsill. And then that gives you the opportunity to maybe use some of the other artist packs work, the sky and the sea one to put on your window, and you can have your houses propped up. In true Blue Peter style, it is exactly one I've done like that. So this is made from a cereal packet. And look how messy it is on the back. And this is an excuse to go out and eat some chocolate. So I'm using the sweet wrappers. We had some chocolates left from Christmas, so I've been using those as well. But I hope that we put plenty of tissue paper in there for you to be able to use. And then you can leave them up like so. And that also means that you might be able to use something like a battery operated tea light or the little fairy lights that you can find. Just works. There we go. Something like that, which is very inexpensive. Well, you might even have some fairy lights around the house and then put them in behind the house itself and you can light it that way. But other than that, that is good to be stuck on your window. I've been using glue tack or the glue dots that you can buy. I picked up some glue dots in Poundland, very inexpensive, and just putting them onto the window that way. And then you can think about, you can tell the teacher is coming out now. If you're really, really enjoying it, then you can think about perspective, so you can kind of start to layer them in front of each other, the smaller houses at the back and the larger houses coming forward, and you can really start to get yourself a really lovely skylight there. It'd be really nice to do as a family. Maybe each member of the family makes their house and you put them together that way. I'm going to give a big shout out and just say to you again, somebody dropped this one. I don't know who you are because you didn't put your name on it, but thank you for posting it through the Yeovil Art Spaces letterbox like requested on the sheet. This is our first community house that's come to us, and I shall be placing it in the window when I go and put the art display up on Saturday. alongside some of the ones that I've created. And the idea is that we will layer them all up together and create a nice big community window together. So I hope you've enjoyed that. There are plenty of ways for you to involve the entire family. So those are really creative and those that struggle a little bit. But I hope you agree, they do look really effective. So, yeah, and I've enjoyed doing it. It's been lovely to do. It's been really nice, especially this week. It's been really cold. So
Thank you, Natasha.
not at all, Zoe. Not at all. Thanks for asking me to do it. It's been lovely.
No, thanks for you being here. So, Natasha, do you want to tell us a little bit more about what you do as an artist? And
yeah, sure, Zoe. Well, I've been an art teacher for 20 years and really enjoyed doing that. But more recently, I've become a community artist and I work with a lot of intergenerational projects. So I think my youngest student has been about 4 or 5 and my oldest student has been 103. So I kind of like to work with all ages and use art more about the process and the enjoyment that art can actually give you. So I run clubs for youngsters. I'm from the age of 7 all the way up through to sort of A-level age. As I said, I'm a qualified teacher, so I love to do the art clubs. Yeah, I take my art out into the community and work with different groups and bring people together and use art as the way that we can kind of communicate with each other and have a lot of fun with it. It's not a bad job. I'm very fortunate, really. We like working at Yeovil Art Space and yeah, got lots planned when we come out of this this situation we find ourselves in. We're doing the best we can, and that's why Window Wonderland is so lovely, because it's kind of enabling us to do this at home and then bring our work together. So without actually having to come together, which is a safe way of doing it, really.
We're quite exciting, is it? So if any of you hasn't been starting to think about doing it, it's not too late and you can still join us. Like the events starting from 15 to 28. But if you start to put your window up, and then it's up to you, tell your neighbors and friends. So what I do, I maybe share on the screen to show our website and where to find the information. So just quickly, I think I showed everybody yesterday already. So this is our, on the website, it's yeovilartspace.uk / Yeovil Winter Wonderland. So here's all the information you need to know about the event. So this is about the activity pack, and I don't think it's any of them available now, so they're all gone very quick. 500 packs, it's all gone.
Yes, so it's been really popular, which is great.
Yeah, it's great for people who have been picking up. But
a lot of the things, you know, the cereal packet, a black pen, black paint, it's half term next week, you know, you keep the kids really busy with it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everything we've made, even with Zoe, kind of kept in mind that you might not have a lot of art equipment in at home, so you should be able to do them without much stuff, really.
Yeah, because there's none of the shops are really quite open. So there's a few others, but out of town as well. So so to just be creative and using whatever you have materials, and recycling is always really good. So you can download the template and the guide from the artist here. So sky, land and sea. So tomorrow, Hannah Botany is an artist, talk about the sea, and then start at 6:30. So here's the information about how to join our online workshop. So now you all know, it's basically just click the link to go to Facebook Live and you can watch it. So if you have any questions, just email us or give us a call as well. Now, we've put together some of the resources in here about how other part of the UK and the world, how they make their Winter Wonderland. Is an event that happens in 300 different locations across UK and overseas. So there's a huge resources out there. So you can really check it out, how they do it. And there's a really good guy from an artist called Lucy, and also a gallery to show you what the other people, how they do it throughout the UK. So join our Facebook group, and so that you can see it. We start to have a lot of sharing, aren't we? Like,
yeah, some really lovely things. Some people's got some great ideas. It's some drafts that had come up the other day were really good. So
it's really exciting, and
yeah,
so everyone have their way to do it. So if you don't want to follow the artist's instruction as just an inspiration, is great. And if you can just maybe follow the template and send us something, is great as well. So have a go. So if you're going to decide to join us, like, it's not too late to, you don't need to have to join us before the 15th, because it's an online map, so you can join anytime during the event. So basically just put your name, your email, don't need the phone number, but put your postcode and streets, and click send, and your location will appear on this map. So you can tell your friends and family to say, here's the maps, and follow the trail. So we've got more than 100 locations taking part now. So you can see every single dot's in here. So so you click that, and then you got the postcodes and the streets, and walk around. I'm sure you can find it. So
brighten up their daily walk, really.
Yeah, it's a daily walk.
Daily walk, your daily walk, and go and have a little look. It's an excuse to go out after dark, isn't it?
It's going to take a bit of time to visit them more.
Yes, there's so many on that. So many on that map. So many on that map.
And then we have people join us from quite far away as well, up to there's one in Sherborne. We have East Street and West Coker, so it's really great.
And Montague, yeah.
Yeah, so this is first time we're doing it, so I think we are sort of, hopefully we'll be expanding. So
it's a lovely thing to do in February. Yeah, nice. I'm dying to switch my lights off. You ready?
Yes, yes.
He's been waiting around the corner for that. There you go.
How beautiful. Thank you.
I'll tell you what I forgot to mention. The blue background on mine is literally just ripped up tissue paper and put on. It's really, really simple. And I got a little bit of silver paint to put some stars on. But you know, any old, any tissue paper that might have been used for something else that's come from packaging, I'm sure you could just put it up. Or you don't need it at all.
Yeah, that's great. So we're going to have something similar and combine with Stephanie's ones of the birds and Hannah's one of the sea, that it's in the Yeovil Art Space window. So everyone can go and watch it, enjoy it.
Exciting. Looking forward to working with the other artists. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Natasha.
Not at all. Thank you for inviting me, Zoe. That's great.
Bye.
Enjoy it, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks.